During the Cold War, America was a nation of doomsday preppers. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy delivered a speech urging Americans to build shelters for surviving the fallout from a nuclear attack. The United States Office of Civil Defense worked with local governments nationwide to designate fallout shelters in public buildings. By 1965, America had over 200,000 fallout shelters, including a world-famous cave in New Mexico. Where vacationers to Carlsbad Caverns saw serene beauty, the Office of Civil Defense saw a haven from a post-apocalyptic world. In this scene, the year is 1963. Chief Ranger John Broadbent and Civil Defense Officer Audra Simmons orient a new crew of park guides to the fallout shelter in Carlsbad Cavern. 4 individuals stand in a dimly lit section of the cave. The Chief Ranger points toward the supply storage.
Please observe the signs with the 3 triangles on it indicating the fallout shelter. These signs will be familiar to most visitors from the fallout shelters in their own communities. Down here we have stored 6 tins of civil defense emergency survival crackers weighing a total of 40 pounds. In addition, we have 6 17.5-gallon barrels full of water. Now, in the event of a nuclear attack, we may actually have to use these barrels as portable commodes. Now, I do realize that we have luxurious flushing toilets down here, but during fallout, those toilets may not be working, and these may become necessary to be utilized. Over here, we've got our first aid kits.
We'll need the sedatives from there to keep visitors calm when the nukes start dropping.
I have every confidence in your Ranger diplomacy skills to calm the nerves of any anxious visitors.
You know, I heard in the 1930s and 40s we used to lead visitors in singing the Rock of Ages hymn on tours. Maybe we could bring that back with the Bert the Turtle song.
2 park guides bend at the knees.
That's enough, Mr. Wolverton. Now, please turn your attention to Ms. Sims from the Office of Civil Defense. She'll be going over how nuclear bombs work, and our role assisting visitors in the event of fallout.
Our example here features a 5-kiloton nuclear explosion at ground level. At ground zero, there is first a brilliant flash of light and an initial outward burst of nuclear radiation and heat rays. That burst is followed by a blast wave traveling 2,000 miles per hour, though I will say that the damaging forces are very much diminished about 10 miles out from this blast site. The blast wave then turns into hurricane-force winds, and a nuclear bomb of this size will obliterate almost everything within a mile radius, and it leaves behind a crater a half-mile wide and 200 feet deep. Next, a brilliant fireball rises into the sky and carries with it tremendous amounts of melted and vaporized earth. And this material, when it reaches the higher altitudes of the atmosphere in the cold air, falls back to Earth as radioactive fallout. It then travels wherever the wind may carry it. The heavier particles, what we call early fallout, return to Earth within a half hour, landing near the site of initial impact. Citizens 100 miles away will have anywhere from 4 to 6 hours to prepare themselves for this early fallout. There are lighter particles that remain in the air for several months, but they are less dangerous. Early fallout particles are similar in size to grains of table salt, and they emit high levels of gamma rays, which cause radiation sickness and death. Shelters like yours are vital community actions to help us save lives. After enduring 2 weeks in the shelter, the radiation danger will be reduced, and then you'll be able to return to the surface and live your lives as normal.
How exactly does the cave protect us from radioactive fallout?
Look at it this way. The Office of Civil Defense recommends or says that 8 inches of concrete, 12 inches of earth, 16 inches of books, or 30 inches of wood are necessary to help protect yourself from this radioactive fallout. Here you are, standing under 754 feet of limestone.
I see a flaw in this armor. Air is constantly coming in and out of the cave from the 66-foot wide natural entrance. Do we plan to put a filter over top of this to prevent the radioactive particles from coming in? It takes 48 hours for a full exchange of air?
This cavern provides us with an exceptional opportunity to use as a fallout shelter. Back in the early 1800s, when Jim White was first exploring this cave, he never could have imagined the potential that this cave had. Going through the darkness with just the flickering light of his lantern, sure, it was beautiful, but he never could see the full potential this cave had. Jim White could never see the actual threats that this country would face in the years ahead. Which reminds me, I'm going to have to talk to Miss Fannie Hill White and tell her that she's got another reason to be proud of her husband.
Do you actually believe we are going to be safe in here, or are you just trying to delude the American people into a false sense of security?
I assure you, Mr. Wolverton, that the efforts of my agency are in earnest. We are here to protect the American people. We hope for the best and plan for the worst.
Even if the plan does work, what's the point of surviving if we come up to a world of ruin? Poisoned water, toxic food, living like wild animals on the surface.
Mr. Wolverton, in the unfortunate event of a nuclear attack on American soil, I can assure you that you're going to have plenty of work to do entertaining and looking after tourists inside this shelter. In addition, I could actually put you in charge of the barrel commodes, a job I know you would enjoy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go over the procedures for evacuating the visitor center, the big room, and the main corridor in the event of a nuclear attack. Please hold your questions till the end and follow me this way.
3 individuals turn and walk off scene. The park guide remains.
Maybe they've deluded themselves into a false sense of security. I mean, look, the barrel's leaking. The only thing well designed here is the sign with the 3 triangles. Symbol of doom.
Carlsbad Cavern served as a fallout shelter from the late 1950s through the 1980s. Luckily, the dire predictions American citizens had made about imminent nuclear war did not come to pass, and Carlsbad Cavern's full potential as a fallout shelter was never tested. However, this tension-ridden exercise in national security can remind us that humans are constantly attempting to alter natural environments.